Today, something to smile about comes from Psalms 23:4, and it reads, "Even when I walk through the darkest valley, I will not be afraid, for you are close beside me. Your rod and your staff protect me and comfort me." Now that's something to smile about. Hi everyone, welcome to the RDH Encore channel. I'm Nikisha and I'm a registered dental hygienist. So normally my videos are geared more towards consumer and patient education, but today I'd like to talk to my other registered dental hygienists. Also those that may be currently in dental hygiene school and those that may be thinking about pursuing a career in dental hygiene. So I've been a hygienist for about 6.5 years, and during that time I've worked at different offices on a temp and a permanent basis. And I've come to realize that there are certain traits that are great to possess to make you a highly effective hygienist. So today I want to give you 7 traits of an effective RDH. Now these are not facts or the only traits that you should possess in order to be a good hygienist, but I just thought that these might be helpful to share with you. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. Trait number 1 is being passionate. Being passionate will get you through the tough curriculum of dental hygiene school. It'll get you through your tough days at work. So dental hygiene school is very stressful, to say the least, at times. You have to make sure that you're maintaining at least a B average in order to stay in the program. You have to make sure that you're studying for boards and learning all of the skills that you need. And so being passionate really helps to carry you through those hard days and just those hard times when you just feel like you're not going to make it through. This being passionate also helps for you to be motivated to practice for years and years. You know, so many people say that dental hygiene seems like it's a redundant or a repetitive type of career, you know, the same thing every day. But honestly, I'm a bit of a creature of habit, and so that's okay for me. But every patient is different and have different types of issues that need to be addressed. So trait number 1 is passion. It's very important. Trait number 2 is being persistent. So being persistent in dental hygiene school may come in handy whenever some of the skills that are new to you may not be coming as easily as you thought they might. And so it's very important to be persistent. New skills are very hard to pick up at times, and so you have to be willing to watch the skill over and over again, practice the skill over and over again, and that takes persistence. You have to be persistent and make sure that you are getting it correctly so that you're able to pass the clinical boards and just have the skill that you need in order to be successful at patient care. Persistence is one of the things that allows you to continue to give patient oral hygiene instructions to a patient that, you know, pretends that they might be interested in changing, you know, the way that they're taking care of their teeth in order to improve it, but really deep down inside, you know that they're not motivated. You know, you can kind of tell. And so persistence will help you to continue to educate them every time, regardless of whether you know they're going to take it or not. At some point, hopefully it will click to them, but you have to be persistent in order to be successful and to help people out. Another example of being persistent is actually in patient care concerning actually cleaning the teeth. Now, sometimes there's something called tartar on the teeth that is the hard substance, not plaque, but it's when plaque has calcified into a harder type substance on the teeth. You have to be willing to be persistent in order to get the tenacious or the hard, just stubborn type tartar off of the teeth. Continue to scale and scale until you get those smooth surfaces and to where you know all of that is off, to where it won't continue to affect the patient negatively. Their gums and their bone will start to heal because of that reason. So it's very important that you stay persistent and get all of that buildup off to make sure that the patient heals well. Number 3 is taking initiative and being a self-starter. So possessing this trait is very important in your career as an RDH. So we work independently a majority of the time, except for the times whenever there is a dental hygiene assistant, or there, you know, for the times where the doctor needs to come in and do your exams. But most of the time your whole job is independently, and you have to make sure that you are a self-starter. You do everything that needs to be done regardless of who's watching. Also, your license depends on it. We have to be willing to do things that need to be done ourselves. We also have to be willing to point out suspicious areas. Even if it's a difficult conversation with the patient or with the doctor, it's very important to make sure that we point out these areas so that they can improve, or we can find some type of resolution for them. So it's very important to be respectful in your approach, but it's important to say the things that need to be said and do the things that need to be done, even if you're not sure how things will turn out. One example is that I always ask whether I'm working on a permanent position or PRN or as needed or some type of temping position. I always ask every patient, regardless of whether it's required at that office or not, if they have any history of heart issues or joint replacements in their past, while I'm like going over medical history, and that helps to determine whether they need a pre-med. Now, it may be a little annoying to some of the patients who, you know, just want to get in, get out, get their cleaning done, and don't really care about, you know, me going over that important information. They just, you know, don't really want to deal with it. Some of the sterner patients kind of get a little annoyed by that, but it's very important because, for one, it saves a life and it protects your license as well, because you don't want to do anything that's going to harm anyone. So the information about that is very important, because if they need an antibiotic pre-med because of a heart issue or some type of congenital heart issue or some type of replacement, joint replacement, it's important because it can cause infection in your heart, it can in their heart, or it can cause infection in those joints, and so it could save a life, you know, and it could, you know, stop some further complications. So it's very important to ask that question, and that's just one example of taking initiative and also being a self-starter, you know, doing the things that you know need to be done, regardless of whether it's the popular thing to do or regardless of whether it's, you know, the easy thing to do. So trait number 4 is being flexible and being resourceful. So from temping and doing PRN work over the years, I've learned that many offices differ significantly. Some offices have a whole variety of different types of tools and resources that you can use, but some offices are very slim on what they have and very basic, and some of them just don't have enough. And so it's very important to be resourceful and flexible whenever you're working in an office that's kind of like on a PRN basis, and don't just turn your nose up at them because they don't have some of the things that the other offices have. So during these times, you have to be willing to use some substitutes, or being willing to do some of the things that you wouldn't normally have to do at other offices in order to give the best patient care. One example is if there isn't a posterior scaler available. If there's a Montana jack available, then that scaler can be used in both anterior and posterior areas. So you could use that over the full mouth, at least for a regular cleaning. So that's a way that you can use what you have, even though you don't have a whole variety of things. So trait number 5 is being strong and having thick skin. Dealing with patients and coworkers and doctors that have different personalities, it's very important to make sure that you're strong and have thick skin. Working in a field where there's primarily women working in offices together kind of opens things up for drama, so let's just be honest about that. And so it's very important to be strong and not to let it affect your work ethic, not to let it affect, you know, your patient care. Some doctors are not easy to work for, some coworkers are not easy to work with, and some patients are not easy to work on. So it's very important to just be strong and get through those hard times. Try to maintain peace within so that you're able to just get through that appointment and provide them with the best care for patients. Very important to, you know, find some type of way to work with those co-workers that are a little tougher to work with, or, you know, to find a place where you can do that. Also with doctors, you know, you just have to make sure that that office is a good office for you. Now, if it's on a as needed or a PRN basis or a temping basis, then of course that's just for the day. Then you know not to return to that office, you know, if it's not a good environment for you. But if you're working on a permanent level, or if you're trying to find a permanent place to work, very important to make sure that you find find somewhere that fits well for you, to where you don't have to worry about the drama. You can just focus on the patient care and being the best hygienist that you can be. So when dealing with the public, you may be insulted, offended, and just treated badly, but it's just very important to be strong and provide the best care possible. Number 6 is being a team player. So this is pretty self-explanatory. Dental offices require everyone to work as a team in order for things to run smoothly. So if some staff member or part of the team is slacking, then just be willing to do it. Whether it's whether you outrank the person or if that's not a part of your job description, just be willing to lend a hand where you can. So last but not least, trait number 7, being kind and humble. So none of us are perfect. We don't do everything right. We don't get everything right every time. So it's very important to keep that in mind. As hygienists, we shouldn't be seen as the prima donnas of the office, which honestly, that stereotype has been around for a very long time, and people just automatically, sometimes think that, oh, you're a hygienist, you're going to be a prima donna, you're going to be hard to deal with, you're going to be a diva, that type of thing. But it's very important to kind of try to get rid of that stereotype. We are patient advocates and educators, and we should be gentle but effective in our approach to patients to make sure that we're providing the best care. As hygienists, we are usually seen as leaders around the office, so it's very important that we approach that role with humility. So these are all great traits to possess as a registered dental hygienist. Wherever you are in your journey, if you're just starting out as a hygienist, if you are in dental hygiene school, or if you're just thinking about pursuing the career of dental hygiene, it's very important to kind of evaluate yourself and see whether you possess some of these traits and where you can work on it, because let's face it, we all have room for improvement. Well, if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Also, please leave me a comment down below to let me know if there are any significant traits that you thought may have been left off of this list that you thought could have been included. Also, if you are not yet a member of the RDH Encore family and would like to, please hit the subscribe button and also hit the bell so that you can be notified anytime new videos are uploaded. So I'll be doing more videos about the career of being a registered dental hygienist. So if you found this helpful, please let me know also in the comments. That's all I have for today. So until next time, everyone take care and remember to let your smile shine. Bye.